John Eats Cheap trying out a new meatloaf. We have a lot of meatloafs. I suppose we probably have like a library of meatloafs maybe. We love meatloaf, and Mrs. Cheap and I were thinking, gee, what could we do? And I said, how about one with like brat meat? Maybe like a German meatloaf, brat meat with pork. We had a little leftover rye bread. We do that with some sauerkraut, top it with Dijon mustard. Hey, that sounds pretty good. So we're flying by the seat of our pants. We're going to give it a try tonight. We got our ingredients. Let's get started. All right, we're going to start off. I'm going to do this like we do regular meatloaf or amaze balls, Mrs. Cheap's recipe. A couple pieces. This is rye bread, and I'm just going to soak these in a little bit of milk just for a few minutes. Let them sop up that milk. And that just adds a lot of great moisture. So we're going to get those started, soak it up. Let's get our meat going. I have, this is, oh, it doesn't say the poundage. It's a little over a pound of just brat meat. It doesn't say the poundage because these are, I just bought the skinless brats, which don't sell by weight. But there it is, they're all together. So we don't have to worry about the skin. That's just going in. And then I have half a pound of ground pork. This is not sausage. It's not seasoned at all. It's just ground pork. Right there. So that's our meat base. Now to that, we're going to add, I got some sauerkraut. That's probably, I don't know, 3/4 of a cup to a cup of sauerkraut. I'm going to pour that in. Like I said, this isn't a recipe of any kind. We're just making this up as we go. Go with, that's about, a third of a chopped onion. Because I love that with my brats. And we're going to go with some cheddar cheese. I would do Swiss, but I don't have any. And we just want a little bit of cheese flavor in there. So just some shredded cheddar. Because that's what's handy. And our bread is soaked up. Wow, that soaked up quickly. So I'm going to just kind of cut these up. And they'll, mix up. Because we're going to do this in the KitchenAid. I know most places say, oh, you got to do it with your hands. It'll be too...
overworked.
I don't know. Yeah, overworked. I don't know. I don't believe that. It's a lot easier to just do it with a KitchenAid. So yeah, here's our bread. And we'll go in with that and all the milk, or the leftover milk. Most of it soaked up. And then we'll go with 1 extra large egg. I should probably do some salt and pepper. So let me grab that real quick. So we'll go in with some salt, in with some pepper, and now we're just going to blend that all together. All right, so I'm going to use the paddle. Get it down in there, lock it up, and put it on low. Got to plug it in first. I guess I thought Mrs. Cheap plugged it in, but I guess not. Here we go. Now, on. All right, so I think we're all incorporated there. Whoop. Get it out of there. We're going to go into a loaf pan and bake at 400 degrees for a total of about an hour. All right, so that's going into the pan. Let's make our loaf. And I didn't grease the pan because, you know what, brat meat and pork have enough fat in them. It shouldn't stick. So we'll just press that down, even it out. And we will, mid-cook, we'll drain the fat off this because there will be a lot of fat. I can guarantee. Just try to get it even in there. And then after we drain the fat, when we're about halfway, 3/4 of the way through, we'll top it with a Dijon mustard. Into the 400-degree oven. All right, so we're 45 minutes in with our German/brat meatloaf. I'm going to pour the grease off because there's going to be a lot of it. With all that pork, there's going to be some fat. Just pour it into a jar. And now I'm going to top it with the Dijon. I suppose you could use any mustard, but, you know, Dijon is kind of, I don't know, is it traditional? I guess I don't know.
It's what we like.
Yeah, we do. And just kind of cover it. And that'll be our, it won't really caramelize, I don't think. So it's not a glaze, but it's just a little flavor on top. And we'll go back in for another 15 minutes, then we'll check our temp. So there we go. That's our German or Bratwurst meatloaf, pork meatloaf. That went about an hour and 10 minutes. While that's resting, look, I got some garlic mashed potatoes we're going to have as a side right here. I had a little leftover cheese and put some garlic in there and a little butter. So it's garlic cheddar, mashed potatoes. Those will be okay. Now Mrs. Cheap wanted me to check the temp because this is pork. So I'm going to check it. Got my handy dandy thermometer here. I'm just going to go in the middle and let's see what it says. That's 160, which pork 160, 165. We'll just let it rest for a couple of minutes and it should be good to go. Perfect. All right, so we let it rest. I'm going to tell you, I can smell that Dijon. Mrs. Cheap?
Yes.
You smell it? I'm thinking this is going to be good. I'm just going to slice it up. Because I like to take a good one out of the middle. Obviously, there will be leftovers here, which is not a bad thing.
I'm just surprised how it kind of poofed up.
It did. It poofed up more than a normal meatloaf. Let's pull it out. Oh, come on. There we go. That looks pretty good. Get some of our garlic mashed cheddar taters as a side. And of course, salt and pepper to taste. I will taste the meatloaf because we've never done it before. I'm going to take a small piece here. It smells really good. I'm not kidding, it's like a giant brat. Instead of having the toppings on top, like the mustard, the onions, and the kraut, it's in the middle. I am a fan. That's good stuff. German or Bratwurst meatloaf with John Eats Cheap. Thanks for watching. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter as well, and Facebook.